complexity than the Rubik and Pudge.
Yeah, that's the last game again. I don't know. Like
it just feels gimmicky, really. Like,
even with that, and then even with that, but then they not to pick on Cancel, but again, whether it was his decision or not in the end, we're really not even sure. But the choice to go the items there, and the lack of just overall damage output, you could just feel it. Just felt all funky here for complexity. So
I think with offlane Pudge, it's like either it's kind of those things that either it works or it doesn't. Like it's kind of a very risky kind of play, whether those hooks lands or if they don't. And you have to make them land if you want to make it worthwhile. Whereas if you pick something like an Underlord, like you know what you're getting with that Underlord, And talking of Underlord, we're gonna get it again. Why not, man? Don't fix what ain't broken,
Yeah, played it very well last game, snaking the 1-2 play last game at least, and played it very solid. So Shadow Demon then second pick, interesting. I do up right there. I mean, as you mentioned, they had a chance to get the Shadow Demon Luna if they really wanted to, but
I mean, Underlord was very, very good for them last game. I don't see why they didn't pick it up here, but the one problem with picking SD though is like the second pick, whether you're first pick or second pick, like as in if you're getting SD for the second pick, obviously is that allows Luna to be banned, obviously, which I expect Plexi to ban out here in the fourth pick. Although they do have Timbersaw and Earth Spirit, which is both great ways to deal with illusions, but you're still fighting against an SD Luna, which is something, it's still very, very hard with an Underlord as well backing it up. It's something that I assume Complexity will ban out, but perhaps Melons has got something up his sleeve, perhaps, to deal with it.
Well, this has similarities to yesterday's draft, once again, against DC, where they actually, when they got Timbersaw, it was against a Luna Shadow Demon combination, and it was actually very good for that. But not only that, it was actually played by Moo in the short lane. He's obviously known for playing Timbersaw, but played us more of the short lane. And then they actually went an offlane Morphling that game, which actually was all right. The lockdown on the Morphling was actually pretty damn good because he just with the whole strength build. But I don't know if we're going to see that again. But yeah, it's kind of making reference to yesterday. They had Earth Spirit that game as well, so it's already pretty similar.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. And obviously there's great ways to deal with the illusions and stuff, but definitely, I don't know, it's still SD Luna at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, whether you have counters to it or not, it's still SD Luna, but we'll see, final ban. They banned out the OD already, which is definitely very good against Timbersaw, but they banned out Juggernaut instead, so Luna is still on the board. Whether they want to go for it or not is now the question. I think if you pick up SD, I mentioned it before, but I think if you pick up SD, you want to have a carry that can take benefit of illusions, and obviously Luna being the premier example, but there's Terrorblade and other ones, but if Luna's on the board, I don't know. I think you still go for it. Otherwise, why are you picking SD?
Yeah.
Like they pick up SD the second here. Like if they wanted Underlord, that's fine. Why don't you Underlord +1 or Underlord, plus whatever another hero? We don't need to pick the SD. Perhaps they were scared that Complexity were going to take it, which definitely is a possibility. Like SD plus Earth Spirit, but then Luna could ban. I don't know. There's a lot of different questions that are kind of going on in the minds of both the drafters here, and I guess what we're going to see eventually, but they're dipping into reserve time now, so that it looks like they still haven't really made up their mind on what they want to do, whether they want to pick this Luna or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the things going through the head you got to figure. Now, they go Ogre Magi, so they get another support. It still could set up for a Luna, the Bloodlust stuff.
Yeah, great with Luna. Ogre plus SD. And now Complexity. The thing what's so great about picking SD before you pick Luna is that now Complexity can't pick up SD. They can't pick up Luna because SD just completely destroys an enemy Luna. Pretty much the SD position 5 can kill the enemy carry position 1 if it is a hero like Luna, because you just disrupt into Soul Catcher, into Demonic Purge, and the enemy Luna just can't do anything. So now Complexity, you have to kind of pick heroes against it, because I'm pretty sure Luna's going to be coming. They pick up Ogre Magi for a third pick as well. Again, all this kind of buffing towards the Lunas, which looks pretty decent.
Ooh, they have a lot of roam heavy support here. Spirit Witch Doctor, that's two of the better ones, I figure. Melon's most likely going to be on the Witch Doctor again. We'll see what kind of build he goes for too. Witch Doctor is kind of interesting. You obviously can go more of the Maledict, more aggressive style, or more of the heal instead. If you're going to be maybe grouping up, or just for the defensive mechanism of it, the Voodoo Restoration right there.
5 seconds remaining.
Do what they decide with that. But yeah, as we keep going back to, Luna still an option. Terrorblade is another one that line up well with the Shadow Demons.
So is Morphlin actually. Morphlin's quite good, but against like Earth Spirit and Timbersaw, I think he suffers more so than the Luna or the Terrorblade. I mean, they all do suffer quite a bit, Timbersaw and Earth Spirit, but they pick up SF, so they're still not showing their carry, and they're playing a little bit coy with complexity now. Whether they're going to pick up or not.
I think it was a Shadow Fiend. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, it's usually when you see a Shadow Demon, especially second pick like that, you figure it's going to be going to see that core kind of lined up with it, but third or the fourth pick at that point.
5 seconds remaining.
Not the case here. They are keeping us and complexity guessing to the very end. So
I mean, they don't want to show it too early, and then I guess complexity have a chance to sort of counter it with the next couple of picks, but. I don't know. We saw obviously in previous games, actually in the previous series, where with Team Onyx, where if you don't kind of pair a strong kind of illusion carry with the SD, I think he kind of falls off as a support hero. Might as well play a different support hero in general. Like, if you're not taking advantage of that disruption, then I guess you can take use of it in terms of the gank sort of thing. But I think the illusion is definitely sort of spam is what you want to pick him up for. But we'll see. Complexity, like if you said Timbersaw can definitely play as a safe lane for Moo, but I think you're going to definitely want some physical presence coming out from the next two picks from maybe mid or off lane. Perhaps TA is on the board. Fares very well against SF, but then you've got the Ogre Magi to deal with, so TA versus 2 is struggling, but Lone Droid though, a great hero, whether he's been played mid or safe lane against actually an SD Luna, because obviously it is actually what was the original reason of why Lone Droid was coming into the meta. Actually, was a way to deal with the SD Luna, because obviously you can outrange him with the increased kind of sniper Lone Droid, and decent against him as well, because obviously the BKB Luna struggles with kind of getting kited with the bear actually. So we'll see. I think with this Lone Droid pick, I don't think Complexity are going to ban the Luna actually. They're trying to almost bait Doo-Wop into picking it. Whether Doo-Wop are going to do it or not is another question, but...
Yeah, I take it back to yesterday's draft again with their spirit, with the Timbersaw especially. It was very good for dealing with those illusions. So even though they lost that game in the end, honestly, they could have and frankly should have won that game, you could argue. It was just a little bit of an overextension at one push that they had, and DC was able to capitalize and come back and win. So I think it really goes back to, as you're pointing out, that they're just not scared of that Luna combination. So I don't think they're going to ban it here. Yeah,
quite stubborn drafting from Melons, but I mean, if it works out, it works out at the end of the day. Yep, so
Life Stealer.
Something else entirely.
I'm going to call Spear Breaker here. This is just randomly out of the blue.
For complexity?
Complexity, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's okay. It's decent against BKB. Yeah.
Radiant team pick.
So it's going to be off-lane Timbersaw then.
Rex just got pretty low, by the way.
Sorry, what about now?
Okay, now it's a little bit better, yeah.
So yeah, it's just, I think, all cores from complexity now, the Timbersaw, Lone Droid and Tinker, all great to deal with Luna, so I don't know if Doo-Wop can even get away with picking a Luna now because of how many cores they've kind of picked against it. But at the same time, do they want to make the SD kind of useless without picking a Luna or a Terrorblade? Questions. I need answers, Breaking. I need answers.
I don't know if it's the new Soul Catcher
it's never useless, but I mean, there is a lot of ways to deal with it, though. Like, Timbersaw's great against it, Lone Droid is great against it, so is Tinker. Pick up Weaver instead. I prefer this pickup, actually, over the Luna. Has a bit more mobility, has a bit more survivability as well, and it still is a decent, illusion hero. Obviously, it has a lot of high agility. Obviously, not as great as the Luna, or a great pair as the Luna with the SD, but I think it is better overall for the draft. So, yeah, I like it, honestly. Like it. It worked out well for him last game, the SF and Weaver combinations. Actually, they had all three same calls, didn't they? Underlord, Sudderfiend, and Weaver.
They did, yeah, you're right. Heroes there. It was Crystal Maiden and Undying were the difference, but kind of similar supports in their own right. Not really. But anyways, the point is, those three cores are exactly the same.
Undying and Ogre are very similar, actually. They both kind of do similar jobs, help out in the laning phase, can kind of box up mid. And SD is a bit different from CM, but yeah, Ogre and Undying are pretty similar. Just the Bloodlust is going to be really useful for SF as well as the Weaver, actually. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely prefer the draft this game for complexity than last game, but it's the Doo-Wop's draft is still, again, very solid. So, let's see how it pans out.
Quick pause into the quick resume. Always like to see that. All right, here we go, guys. Game number 2 here of this 2-game series. So it's a Doo-Wop up 1-0. Gonna get that 2-0 victory over Complexity. And Complexity had this match here, but then they also are set to play next against Team Freedom, so it's gonna be a longer night for them, that's for sure. And we'll see how they can finish off here against Doo-Wop. At least want to get some momentum going into that next series. But off the bat, they're not even going to smoke up, at least just yet. They're just simply walking towards their shrine. They do have a smoke on Melons. Hang in, and they're going to use it right here now. Make their way to the top area. Underlord, the only one in the vicinity. As they're going to go right to the engine. It's going to be Shadowfiend. Shadowfiend, though, I don't know if he was just AFK or what. That seemed like a I'm looking somewhere else kind of deal. And he gets caught.
Yeah, pretty just completely AFK, but a decent start.
30 seconds.
Tinker tanking the level up, lost actually, and he's already looking towards buying his boot. Oh, 2 cells actually, 2 cells. So, yeah. It's going to fare quite well, particularly with Ogre boxing the Tinker out. These 2 cells are actually going to be quite nice to help cancel out.
Yeah. Underlord is like, I want this rune, damn it, but they're making it pretty difficult for him, so I don't think he's going to be getting it, and it looks like it is going to be maybe picked up by Z-Freak. See, he's positioning himself. Yeah, he's going to take it. Moo was heading over as if he wanted it as well, but Z-Freak, better to be safe than sorry again. Make sure to get it before they do. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Shadow Demon actually...
He took the bounty, yeah, but...
Did he actually get it? Okay.
Yeah, he took the bounty. Disrupt the Tinker and then just took it. So it's actually going to be an off-lane Lone Droid actually, and the safe lane Timber. I prefer this actually the way they're matching up, because obviously Timber's great against the Underlord, obviously Underlord being strength. Obviously Timberlord can take a big advantage with the Whirling Death here, and not only that, but a Lone Droid should be quite good against this Weaver and SD actually being ranged. Obviously he's able to sort of pull the creep wave with his bear and stuff. So yeah, I really like the lane stage here coming out from Complexity.
I'm being told I need to up my mic as well as yours. God, I don't get it. I'll try to make some adjustments, guys, and the best that I can. But again, I'm using similar settings as middle lane. Ogre Magi, I know he is going to be fine. But I'm using similar settings to what I always use here on this setup now. So I don't know how old
it's not good enough, Breaky. Come on, man.
Just shit, but I'll do my best, guys. So bear with me with the volume, but. Anyways, back to the action here. Obviously, a little bit of harassment there in the middle lane, but Ogre gets boxed out and is forced to go all the way back to the base here. We'll have to get that regen on his top lane. Melon's rotating up. Not going to make the play, though. What do you think, what would you expect to see on the Witch Doctor? It's somewhat of a roam-heavy team. Does he get the Maledict, do you think, or does he go more the Voodoo Restoration?
Well, it really depends, really. Like, I think if he's looking for kills, then obviously Maledict is definitely more important, and I think it's probably what he's going to have here, but the Voodoo Restoration is really good against, particularly the Ogre sort of spam onto the Tinker, can really kind of secure the Tinker's life, but he's sort of staying top, so I expect the Maledict to be coming out here, but we'll see. It's kind of a defensible, aggressive kind of mindset, and we'll see what the Z-Freak chooses. He's got level 2 now, so he's probably going to decide in the next couple of seconds.
Yeah. Top lane moves, taking some pressure here from the Firestorm, but obviously he has support coming in. Now Snaking's the one in trouble. The Maledict picked up. Now comes the cask, and comes a roll from Z-Freak just out of range. The Boulder Smash connects, though. Doing a lot of damage, but again, only level 1 Maledict, just pretty damn weak. So not going to be enough damage for any kind of kill, but you get a lot of pressure out at least. The Underlord, but he just kind of walks it off. Not really the biggest deal up there, despite that Tri-Link going up against him.
It's pretty tanky. Yeah, the Maledict is sort of leveled up, but level 1 Maledict is very, very weak. For a Witch Doctor needs level 2 at least before he's threatening.
Bottom lane, pressure into the tower right here. We got Lone Druid, of course, he's not necessarily the greatest at defending said tower, so understandable that they're taking advantage of that. Or gets some nice auto attacks into it before having to be forced out himself. Creep wave going away, but look at this middle matchup. Shadowfiend currently 12-7 against Tinker that's 10-6, so Shadowfiend actually the slight advantage there. It's had Ogre nearby to assist, of course. A fair amount of it.
He's going to try and contest actually this neutral camp as well. I don't think he's going to get any CS though. It's not enough damage, unfortunately. Other lane there. Earth Spirit is rotating over, but it's being spotted by the Ogre Magi. But this is what we kind of expect between the kind of two position, or both of the position 4s from both teams. Earth Spirit kind of wants to sort of try and find ganks, whereas the Ogre is going to try and stop the Earth Spirit from trying to find those kills. Like this, like the Ogre is like the bodyguard, and Earth Spirit's kind of like the assassin kind of thing. Although obviously Ogre has his kill potential as well, but definitely Earth Spirit has more kill potential with the Royal. But yeah, I think Complexity are kind of okay with how the lanes are going right now, though. Like they're getting farm on all lanes really. SF is beating Tinker a little bit, but that's just from the Ogre help. But here comes the rope in from Earth Spirit, though misses unfortunately, and that should be enough for SF to get away scot-free.
Yeah, I was watching the bottom lane action though, and they do catch Lone Druid. They put him under initially. He tries to TP out after, but it's not enough. And they just had enough damage to finish him off. Obviously, that with a Soul Catcher. Again, doing plenty of amp damage onto him and able to secure that kill. So they miss the opportunity in the middle lane. They lose their Lone Druid from the bottom lane. So good sequence of events for Doo-Wop right there. As Underlord at the top, he's avoiding another cask bounce, and he'll be fine. Witch Doctor does get the 1 point into Booty Restoration, by the way. It's kind of one of those 1 point wonder abilities. So advantage of that, but this top tower is going to take some good pressure. Moo going beyond, doing some good damage right there to the Underlord again, and she's forcing him to TP away. Pressure that tower in, but not a whole lot of rotations going on though.
Oh, Zefreak spotted the smoke rotation. And so I think it's going to be fine.
That laser, level 3. Harassing with it, and good vision obviously here for Complexity in the middle lane as well. Then you got that Observer Ward, very aggressive. Almost in that tower range.
Yeah, so we're seeing Tinker obviously going sort of 3 points into laser, but we're going to see, oh, there is a roll from C3, but it's going to miss. Sometimes you see like Tinker, they do 2 builds, either they max kind of the rockets and the laser sort of for kill potential, or they start looking to get points in March Machines to help them eventually get their farm on, and there hasn't been any kind of kill potential on the SF, so Tinker's going to start putting more points in March Machines, and perhaps might even see some stacks coming out from Complexity, but I don't see any stacks at the moment, but we might see some Melons might rotate over and try and give Tinker a bit of a helping hand, seeing as he is struggling a little bit, not that much, but a little bit in the mid lane.
Top lane, Timbersaw. Doing the free farm thing, does have the early arcane boots. Again, it's a little curious seeing, well, Timbersaw is being played by Moo, of course, so still, even with the Lone Druid and everything, and got him on the Timbersaw, it's a very comfortable hero for him. So yesterday, and of course, TI most noticeably was a hero that, safe to say, really helped to make him a popular name. And he's going to really harass Ogre Magi here. Snaking also somewhat low, trying to assist, but now out comes the Cask and Maledict to follow. Not even necessary, actually. Moo does enough damage to take him out by himself. Meanwhile, bottom lane, though, what happened? Time goes Lone Druid in middle lane, Tinker said too.
Yeah, Lone just takes too much damage. The Weaver is too sort of scary to sort of really lane against. I think this Lone Druid, I mean, he died before and now he's died again. He needs to go into the jungle because just the SD and Weaver is enough sort of to kill him. One disruption and they're able to get on top of him and just instantly destroy him. And so we're going to start to see most likely Lone Druid play a more passive game going forward and sort of start jungling it. And this is the one weakness of playing Lone Druid in the off lane position, especially. Normally, obviously, we see him in the safe lane or at least the mid lane where you can kind of guarantee farm on him. But in the off lane now, he's too vulnerable. And as we're seeing, a Lone Druid without farm is not scary at all, honestly. And well, he's got no farm. There is an Iron Talon picked up from the Spirit Bear, so we're probably going to see him play sort of defensive. When the lane pushes out, he's going to have to go jungle, but as it's at his tower, he should be fine. But top lane, see SD coming over, but
yeah, more harassment coming out. Shadow Demon though puts him under. Courier delivering some item right there to Timbersaw. Obviously that level 4 reactive armor also helping him alive right here, and he's going to be more than fine actually. As Moo will just easily Timber Chain away. Look at the Shrine here, you need to be careful about that.
Very defensive actually, skill build from Moo. Actually, like normally we see like a 4 points in reactive armor if you see like an offlane Timber, but sound like a safe lane you want to kind of have more kill potential, so obviously you get more points in Q or the W, but having 4 points in E is very defensive, but obviously helps him out in that gank potential there. But bot lane, Weaver is going to be fine.
Yeah, he kind of just says hello to them, but then a quick time lapse and he manages to escape. They obviously didn't have the lockdown ready to go, so he'll be fine. We got the bottom push. We'll see what they are able to make of it. Meanwhile, cancel middle lane. He's put under initially. Ogre Magi throws up the Ignite. He's going to throw out the March, but Tinker, he's doing what he can to simply get away right here, which isn't much, unfortunately. Tinker, that doesn't work that way. Doesn't really have the greatest escape. So he goes down. Melons, chased back by Weaver, will survive. That Voodoo Restoration in case he wants to use it, but again, the big kill on a Tinker just prior, and a 4-2 lead now for Duop, and where are they going? They are going back to base. Dark Rift there.
Yeah, just a nice little pit stop, some rest, like sort of regening up. Both are all quite low, and then they're trying to TV back to base, or TV back to the lane, and Shadowbin has his full bottle and full HP as well.
Monkeys pushing out the bottom lane there. Iron Talon on the fair. Tower kill prior to that. Hannah Midas in the works, just about finished.
Yeah, I think that's fair, honestly. Like, I think you need to have farm on the lone droid. I'm wondering whether he's going to be playing this kind of sniper build or not, really. Sometimes normally we've always been seeing this sort of sniper build, but because he's off lane and because he's going Midas here, we might even see him sort of go the usual Radiance build that we've been seeing previously before, patch 7.00, but we'll have to see.
Feels so odd if he does that. I feel because it's like this is like the new build, the range.
Yeah,
taking
exactly.
advantage of the talent tree.
I definitely do agree with you, but at the same time, normally when we see the sort of the sniper build is when we're sort of seeing against him playing against like SD Luna and these kind of sort of short range heroes, whereas someone like a Weaver, although yes he has short range, obviously he has great mobility to get in the face of lone droid, whereas him being in true form, having a lot more HP and relying on the bear allows him to be a lot more tanky. But we'll see. Like obviously, just because him going minor doesn't necessarily mean he is going the old style build of sort of building up the bear, but he's got minus so far, which is something what we used to see sort of Admiral Bulldog do when he was obviously focusing on the bear. Good old Alfredo. We'll see.
So I heard. Bottom lane, what's going on here? Melon's actually going on by with that Haster and has the bug applied to him, but Voodoo Restoration has also wand here. Ready to use if need be. Gonna pop the shrine and also the sentry down actually. Oh, time lapse. He gets feared. He doesn't have enough mana for the time lapse initially. He does now. He's gonna Sakuchi away instead. And he will actually survive. Again, the Maledict is only level 1 still.
Yeah, Maledict level 1 is so weak, as I mentioned before.
Image, yeah, it almost feels like it's like not even worth getting. But of course he's gonna level it up eventually. But
normally we see like 2-1-2 actually, but he's actually gone 3 points in the coconut. Oh, mid lane.
Middle lane, yeah. Cancel's in trouble. This Weaver's being very active early on. There. Pops time lapse as well, just in case. Now they're going for the Timbersaw off to the side, but saw quick Timber Chain, and he will be good as far as his distance goes. But it's early control for Duop. It feels like they're looking pretty good. Shadowfiend and Weaver once again start just like last game.
Yeah, and Tinker is sort of very vulnerable, right, but he didn't have the greatest time to start with because he had an Ogre in his lane, but there hasn't been any stacks, which I mentioned. Like, you'd think maybe there'd be some stacks in the jungle for Tinker to try and sort of farm up and things like that, because if he sits mid, like, he's so vulnerable. Like, there's no hero that can sort of sit mid and sort of protect him. Like, Witch also would sit in mid, but just the paralyzing cost isn't enough. I don't think they need like a saving spell, like a Dazzle or something to really help him, but something they just do not have in this draft, so they're going to have to try and farm cancel as much as they can elsewhere. But top lane though, no.
Chakram kind of catches 747 a little bit. Z-Freak wants to assist, but gonna miss the Boulder Smash. Meanwhile, Shadow Demon in the flank. Maybe it would have been better to turn his attention to the Shadow Demon rather than go for that Shadow Fiend. It doesn't matter though, the Timber Chain in, and then the Chakram to cut right through the Shadow Demon. So it was like, I got this, don't worry. And he accomplishes it. So that Bloodstone well in the works now for the Timbersaw here. But good chase, and that's still to be had for Complexity. As Timbersaw continues to be the top farmer in the game, though. D800 gold net worth currently. For him, so Tinker definitely a hero you want to get going as soon as possible. Come online, you could even say. But cancel 1 and 3 so far. Prettiest start here, but he's working on it. What should we expect Tinker to go, you think, early on?
Yeah, I think we'll just see the regular, obviously, sort of Soul Ring into Travels, into Aether, into Ags or Blink. Yeah, definitely Blink before Ags, but yeah, just that's probably the most standard build of Tinkers nowadays. I don't think we see anything crazy. Sometimes we see like a Bloodstone, depending on kind of the preference of the Tinker, but that'll be a lot later, and that'll be after sort of Aether Lens and Blink. But yeah, those two are the first two core items on the Tinker. Just gives them a lot of kind of utility. And, but I think I was correct though, Breaky, with the Bone Droid.
I'm looking.
Radiance. There's nothing better than being right, you know that.
Well, yeah, but it sucks when it's so wrong though.
I don't know, man. It has its merits, and at the same time, like, I mean, Monkeys is not a bad player. He knows what he's doing at the end of the day.
Obviously.
Like I said, like, yes, Lone Droid, when you go the regular kind of range build and sniper build, but again, it's good against certain heroes. But in the meantime, top lane Earth Spirit most likely is gonna drop very quickly. Yeah, but like I said, first of all, the Radiance. Let's talk about the Radiance has a lot of benefit here. Good against SF and Weaver, both obviously focusing on their right clicks, so the miss chance is going to be useful, particularly before the BKBs are picked up. Secondly, obviously the range form is good when you can outrange heroes like Luna, who are kind of immobile and low range, but heroes like obviously Weaver, you're always going to get sort of close and personal. And when you're in the regular ranged form of Lone Droid, you're very, very squishy. But if you're in the true form here, I mean, look at him, he's going to be like nearly 2k HP. It's just a lot more harder to deal with heroes like Weaver. So yeah, I think honestly, I think this is kind of the build. And oh my god, DD and Weaver nearly just two-shot the Earth Spirit. He is still chasing actually.
Yeah, the bug's on him. Shikuchi in. I don't know if he's getting out of this. There we go. A little damage too much. Middle lane? No, they're fine. They're just pushing it out as Lundgren makes his way here. But yeah, I'll say this. I mean, it's one of those, if Complexity doesn't win this game, a lot of people will kind of look at this and be like, why did you even go Lundgren if you're not going to go the OP build? But yeah, it still has its merits. You are right, and I definitely think it's going to be fun to see. Anyway, middle lane, yeah, Shadow's even setting up this initiation right here, but not enough follow-up in time.
Also, you have to remember that Lone Droid was off lane, not safe lane or mid. So obviously he's not going to get the same kind of farm. So having something like a Midas in the Radiance is kind of a little bit more reliable than going like the Dragon Lancer and the Mjolnir. We're just saying that you kind of get if you're getting a lot of farm priority. So there is a lot of differences here, and I don't know. We'll see how it works out for sure. But he's closing on the Sacred Reddit about 1,200 away from it, so it's going to get a timely.
Bottom lane, as you say this, not so timely anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I keep saying, every time I say something, the guy just dies. It feels bad, man.
Well, they still look going to be okay, but yeah, no, the dying right there is slowing it down quite a bit, and now it's bottom secondary tower. Going to be heavily pressured. Witch Doctor, actually, no Pit of Malice just yet. It's going to be coming up right here. Out of the root, and that's a dead Witch Doctor as well, most likely. One more auto attack. Dark Rift activated. They're going all for it. They do get the kill. Now Dark Rift will send them back, and there you go. So they're going to be fine. The chase is on now, trying to catch up to the Shadow Fiend. I think, well, maybe. Actually, Gensel does have a haste. Going to be wearing off right there. 747, though, has a TP. Do they have any stopper? They do at the last second. The Molder Smash comes through, and now Shadow Fiend is like, alright, Requiem of Souls time. That's not going to matter. They will pick him off, so good job by Complexity, at least chasing down the Shadow Fiend. Securing one kill right there.
Yeah, I think arguably it was a little bit questionable from that SF though, like trying to. I think if he kept on running, like the haste from Tinker was running out, so I think the only way he dies there is if he gets caught by the Earth Spirit. So if he kept on running to his tier 2, his team might be able to help him. But regardless though, nice kill. A nice chase from Complexity. They definitely needed a kill that they were definitely needing. That the SF was kind of spiraling out of control, closing in on his butterfly very early on.
And Timbersaw, though, he continues to be the top farmer in the game when it comes to that net worth. That Bloodstone now 14 charges on it, and he almost has the Blink Dagger as well. So, and Moo really continuing to show why he's known to play a damn good Timbersaw. Here for Complexity yet again. As far as the scaling goes, that's where, maybe a little bit the concern comes into play. But that's why you got a Lone Druid as well as the Tinker even to be useful throughout the game. And that Radiance, it's 3,000 gold saved up now, so almost has the Sacred Relic at least. Shortly after, of course, the pattern for that Radiance. So yeah, I mean, it's not like Radiance is bad. We can't look at it that way. I guess the logic you could use though is that why even go the Lone Druid then? Why not maybe get a more useful off lane? But
I agree with that totally, because obviously we talked about how in the draft Complexity were sort of setting up for the doo-wop Luna pick for their last pick. So they picked up heroes like Timbersaw, picked up heroes like Lone Druid, picked up heroes like Tinker, and obviously the reason why Lone Druid was being sort of so prevalent lately is this range form to deal with, you know, the Luna who has very low range, and sort of they was sort of climb around. But as you said, if they were picking this hero to deal with the Luna and that never ended up coming, why would you go the hero if you're not going to go that? But I don't know, maybe if there was a Luna pick, then he would have went with the range form, because there wasn't a Luna. He's gone for this, focusing on the bear strat. But I don't know, I like this this variation.
Well, again, so far though, it's still pretty early in the game here, only 17.5 minutes in, and as far as the net worth goes, the chart at least, it's pretty even overall. Complexity had a fairly decent lead, upwards of almost 2,500 there for a bit early in this game, but then it started dipping back in favor of Doo-Wop, and now we see it going back down for Complexity though, so kind of a back and forth game here, this still earlier part once again. There's the Blink Dagger picked up on Timbersaw, so Moo again continues to be on top of those net worth charts. He's 600 now, and can rotate to the bottom lane. Top lane, Underlord kind of having fun with Lone Druid up here. Underlord actually has a Radiance queued up as well. Interesting.
Yeah, it's sometimes I do see it, because obviously Underlord is such a tanky hero and so strong in his own right that it's hard to bring him down. So obviously the Radiance sort of allows him to sort of be in the thick of it and get a lot of damage off just from the Radiance burn. And obviously it's quite decent, but in this game I don't think it's that strong. Timbersaw doesn't really right click, neither does the Tinker, so really where is the mischance really going to be sort of taking effect? Nowhere really, I don't think. Obviously it's good against the Lone Droid Bear, but I mean a position 3 hero to sort of that much committing onto an item, I don't think it's very good, to be honest. So I have to disagree with the Radiance in this game. Yeah. Obviously it's good, there's a lot of talking on mid lane, bot lane, Ogre's gonna go down, but it's good against sort of squishy heroes like Witch Dogs. Obviously can take a lot of damage, but I don't think it's worth it. And SD, well, that disruption was definitely not worth it.
That was well played by Z-Freak right there, lining up that boulder smash too. Top of the Shadow Demon. Top lane actually, they're diving our Dark Rift, out. Underlord will be fine. Middle lane cancel. He's gonna heal up a bit with those bottle charges. Weaver diving though and gets the kill, and then he time lapses out. His safety once again. That Death Letter doing a work with that single target damage. Meanwhile, the BKB on his Shadow. I thought the BKB. What am I saying? I thought he had it for some reason. He was glowing that gold, but no, he does not, and he easily goes down there as a result. That's TP out of time. Look at Moo go, man. He is just on fire. 17 charges on the Bloodstone. He might get another kill out of this. No, not enough damage. Doesn't connect with the Timber Chain as far as the damage goes. He's going to be purged, though, by Shadow Demon. Slowing it down a little bit, but can't be too worried about that.
Moo's Timbersaw is really keeping Complexity in this game, and like they were really struggling, I think, in the early laning phase and mid game. But these kind of just the strength of Moo's Timbersaw. He's got 17 Bloodstone charges now. They're really struggling to sort of kill him, so he's able to play so aggressive. Which, if you look at it, I mean, Lone Druid hasn't been involved in any kind of team fight since the start of the game, really. So, Moo's created a lot of space now for Lone Druid to sort of farm up. He's closing in on his Radiance now, and there's even a minus pickup from Earth Spirit as well. So yeah, I think Moo's sort of played this more of a space maker, which he sort of struggled to do on the Clinks last game, but definitely is accomplishing it on the Timbersaw this game.
That Radiance almost finished on the Spirit Barrier for Monkeys. He actually doesn't have a Sacred Relic on him yet, so not taking advantage of the added damage here, but he wants to get the full on Radiance. And it's just going to have it all delivered at once. But, of course, again, that will be crucial. And, yeah, looking at the talent trees, and most people are curious about that. Again, he is going the different build. He's going the 250 health and now the 30 Spear Fair damage. Top of that, he can only... I still think he may get the 50-second respawn time. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, 50, yeah. But, I mean, the armor on Bear is still decent. Obviously, he's playing against a lot of negative armor from the Weaver and the SF, and obviously, if his bear is going to be up in the front ground, he's going to need as much armor as he can on that bear. But you're alright, minus 50 respawn is very, very good, but I think you could argue that the armor might be better, just slightly. But we'll see.
And we'll see what he decides to go for. Here, Blink Dagger has enough money to purchase it. Meanwhile, at the Shrine area, Weaver's going to open. Will they pop the Shrine? They will not. They just try to run, actually. They'll survive. Go for that quick kill right there, and now you see Moo rotating over. Again, as that blink, the heals is just about finished as well. Moo continuing his great farm here. Z-Freak also with the hand of Midas, actually, by the way, on the Earth Spirit here.
Yeah, it's something that I see a lot of Earth Spirit players do. Like, they kind of fall off in the late game, but like an item like Midas can really kind of secure them some kind of farm, particularly if the game's kind of stagnating, which it kind of has for the last couple of 5 minutes or so, which is it's been.
Top lane continuing to push at the tower, but Tinker doing his job of setting out the marsh, though, counter pushing the best that he can. That's middle lane, actually. The Spirit Bear is caught right here. Again, this pretty significant Spirit Bear. Not usually lately with the Lunger is, but this one definitely is. Has that Radiance. Gonna dive here, somewhat move. He's thinking about making a play on an Ogre. Nice stun through from Z-Freak, and that should be a dead Ogre magic as a result. The offensive earn. Shock Rim. There we go. Timber Chain. Oh my god, he's still alive, actually. He's put under by the Shadow Demon, that is. The disruption, and finally get it in the end, but survived a little longer than expected, maybe. But they're pushing mid now. Should be a tower kill on top of that. Again, the pair. With the extra damage, definitely sieging those bases pretty effectively. As the Underlord gets caught in the background by Timbersaw initially. Get the follow from Z-Freak. And down goes Snake King. So they're going to go to the base. They're already sieging, force a buyback on Underlord. What is going on here for Complexity?
Moose Timbersaw, man, he's playing out of his mind, honestly. So aggressive, knows his limits so well, and like I don't know if you saw as well, but that blink play actually onto the Timber Chain is so useful as well, able to get damage off without really committing too hard into the base actually, and yeah, it's able to sort of force a buyback from Underlord, and again puts his team ever further ahead. He's got 19 Bloodstone charges, man. This guy is unstoppable right now.
Looking really good. Port in the middle lane from Cancel. Trying to defend what he can again, but not going to be the case there. The tower does fall. Look at Shadow Fiend. Actually with the first item Butterfly. Following up the Dragon Lane. Curious pickups there. I mean, I guess, you know, with maybe with the bear in the front lines, but you know, Timbersaw that's dealing a lot of damage. He doesn't really care.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's saying similar to what the there you go.
Oh yeah, big fight coming out right here. Shocker going to be used. Dark Rift activated by Snake King, but they're kind of running away from him. Shadow Fiend just simply getting on out of there himself, and the rest will escape. So no deaths happening as a result of that. As you see, Shadow Fiend makes his way to the top lane, but of course they did get the Roshan right prior to it.
Nice little sneaky play there from Duwop. Again, the Weaver and the SF doing so much damage, obviously, because of the negative armor onto Roche, and was able to sort of skirt away with the taxi ride home from the Underlord. So nice sort of sneaky Roche. I don't think like they could really take up a team fight 5-on-5 actually. So for them to sort of take that Roche was actually a massive play there from Duwop.
Shadow Fiend, he finds Z-Freak here. Look at those auto attacks, man. He finally gets the barrel roll off, and he will survive. But man, you see Shadow Fiend with that butterfly. He does right click pretty damn hard. Now Moo going back in middle, but yeah, just going back to that Battlefly. I think you're right though. Like obviously, I mean it's a great item on SF anyway, because obviously he does loads of damage, obviously with the agility. But he can't really take too much of the advantage of the evasion that you get from it. There's no real right clicks. But one thing that is very important to note though is actually top lane Noga's going to go down. Most likely he's going to get caught out of position, and SF now is struggling against Timbersaw. Oh dear. Dead, and you got Timbersaw now. He's obviously got that reactive armor. Tanked out the Bloodstone 19 charges. Puts the Eel Scepter on his Shadow Fiend. Here comes a follow-up. Shadow Demon in the background is picked up. And down goes Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend does have a buyback. They do take out Earth Spirit in the midst of it, but that is a 3-for-1 overall. Moo still wants more damage, more charges, and more kills. Snake King pops the shrine, and that means Moo will have to probably get back, if he can actually. His day being locked down by that bit of malice. Another shrine used right there. They're using it all, but the top racks, while this whole time the Spirit Bears are sitting on top of it, pounding it down. They do pick up the Witch Doctor in the background, but see Timbersaw, he is still looking pretty good to go. Shadow Fiend staying dead through all this, despite having that buyback and move. He'll just walk it off, throws the Eel Scepter out, and now he fully is going to retreat right here. Middle lane.
Weaver forced to use his eye, but it's going to be fine in the end. But yeah, I'm surprised SF didn't buy back there though, because losing that Rex is very, very much detrimental. But again, though, we're talking about the Butterfly on SF, and then he just sort of solo dies to both the Earth Spirit and the Timbersaw. If he has BKB there, he can man up and and do so much work against the Timbersaw and the Earth Spirit. But the Butterfly makes him do a lot of damage with right clicks, but very susceptible to the Timbersaw, which is really the hard carry here for Complexity. 21 Bloodstone charges now, and it does not look like he's slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, this is insane. I mean, that Shiva's going to be absolutely huge on top of that, so definitely the questionable pickup of Shadow Fiend, but hey, they still have an Aegis on Weaver, so Doo-Wop feels like should be able to make some kind of move right here, but it just can't catch Moo. I mean, he is just moving around the map, constantly pushing lanes, and it feels like if you try to go for a kill on him, he'll just turn on you. And while this is all happening, Tinker's split pushing, and on top of that, obviously, Lone Druid, as we saw in that last fight, I mean, he basically took out that top set of racks right there, while Moo was distracting the whole team. And they also catch Ogre Magi now. Yet again, the Chakram out. He's not getting away from that.
Yeah, exactly. Another Bloodstone charge for Moo. Just going back to this Butterfly on SF, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but one thing we haven't really talked about is that obviously they need kind of an illusion kind of hero to sort of pair with the SF. I guess Weaver is okay, but I guess with this Butterfly pickup, obviously the plus 35 agility is very nice to be used for the SD and with the disruption. So there's something to talk about as well. But talking of SD, nearly dies actually. Bot lane does go down.
Yeah, but Spirit Bear, exactly. He's just sieging the base while that distraction happens. Melons is going to fall. That was a very ambitious use of the death ward right there. He ends up dying shortly after, but might as well give it a try, I guess. But now you have Timbersaw. That Shiva's being delivered at least. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, there we go. It's on there. And AC just finished on Monkeys, actually. Delivered to his pair. So look at that protection as well as the team fight presence here. Snaking, having to deal with Timbersaw yet again. Going to be slowed initially. They do lock down Weaver in the background. However, disruption. That's the Thunder. Does he have an ultimate? He does. He pops a time lapse. Only at half life though. He will have to come on back, but they could probably use a gem here on Complexity side, you would think. Not picking one up just yet though. They're going to keep this push going though, and I don't know if Doo-Wop can really stop this. I mean, it's getting to a point now. I mean, you got Lone Druid. Sure, he didn't go the whole right-click range sniper 2.0 build, but obviously with this bear being beefy now, that sieging presence is very powerful.
Really, really strong. And obviously with the AC as well, like bed's going to attack faster. Obviously the towers are going to take negative bomb as well, and towers are going to drop, and as they have top as well as bot. So. And they have like Tinker March spam as well, so it's hard for Doo-Wop to really get in and really kind of contest the siege from Complexity now. Moo has Invis actually. He's lurking, but he's not going to find anything there.
22 charges. Ags being picked up, so yeah, the double chakram. Add once he finishes that, obviously. Weaver. Fusel Blade being worked on by Weaver. What do you think of that choice? I mean, the mana burn?
It's nothing to do with the mana burn. It's to do with the two Ghost Scepters from Complexity, the Witch Doctor and the Tinker. Like both heroes are kind of high priority targets to kill. Like Witch Doctor dies in two hits as long as he doesn't get the Ghost Scepter off, which obviously the Fusel Blade is able to purge off. So yeah, it's a good pick up here.
Out of lane again. They're kind of poking in. The tower's already dead. There's a purge on the Timbersaw, but he's just going to wait it off. That Shadow Fiend is moving on out somewhat. Does have a BKB now, so that's definitely a tool that'll help him. Looks
like Bloodstone just picked up by the Tinker as well. Something I mentioned earlier about the kind of item pickup that Tinker might go for. He's actually skipped the Aether Lens, which I thought he would go for, but I guess the Ghost Scepter is definitely much more needed against sort of this Weaver, although he does have his Diffusal Blade now, so that Ghost Scepter is not going to help him in any way actually. Still does force out the Diffusal buy from this Weaver.
So just force out kind of a counter pick item if you can. So
yeah, and he still has obviously the laser to stop the Weaver, although he does have Lincolns, so he's going to have to pop something on the Lincolns and then be able to use the laser to sort of give him that kind of like physical immunity from the Weaver, obviously with the 100% miss shots on the laser.
Delora, they're trying to chase him down. Shiva's popped. It does catch him. He activates the Dark Rift immediately. And that means he's going to live, but... Oh!
Close, actually.
Would that do anything? What was he trying to do? Would the Yul's actually do anything? Oh,
I think oh, there you go. It's a sieve.
So you're really low again.
Sorry, there we go.
That keeps going in now. Here's the best.
SD's did. But,
That he
I think
is.
I think that the Dark Rift on Underlord works similar to sort of Conker's X marks, but here we go though. Ogre might be.
Yep, they follow in. Yeah, Ogre, he's dead right here. And he does okay, doesn't have a buyback. Use it immediately, actually. Shadow Demon staying dead. Now, they do have a shrine to use, so actually using it right there. Never mind, they do not anymore. BKB is on cooldown now for Shadow Fiend, so a chance for Complexity to really go cutthroat here. Pushing into the bottom base, puts the Spirit Bearer leading the way. And it's just so difficult to kill and deal with. Siege in that melee reacts very effectively. Timbersaw on the back on the Chakram comes out. Underlord forced to fall back, barely alive himself. That's also good for the rain tracks on top, so Complexity really pushing into the base of Doo-Wop now, and it just doesn't feel like they can do much about it. Once again, Ogre will get picked off. This time he's not fighting back as Tinker lasers him down. The Maledict's currently on Shadow Fiend. Jason back cancel, but again, Moo jumps back in, and now Shadow Demon having to deal with him as a Death Ward from a distance, just killing some illusions, it seems like. Shadow Demon now picked off, and again, he doesn't have a buyback. Weaver locked down, Weaver's dead, and he with no buyback. GG, well played. And we'll officially do it in favor of Complexity, so they're going to take game 2 and at least split the series here.
Definitely, and I think there's only one hero or one player that stands out for me really. Moo just played so fantastic on that Timbersaw. Like, had such a